Yo, what's up, everybody? Kevin here. Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. Gonna be on here for the next hour or so, talking to you guys, hanging out with the snowboard community here, and also answering any of your snowboard questions. Switching it up a little bit this week. Got the new window frame look with the background. So coming to you guys from my cabin in the woods up in the mountains. So yeah, stoked to be on here talking to you guys and yeah, answering any questions that you guys have. I hope everyone's staying safe out there during this crazy time we're having. I know I'm just trying to stay active, get outside as much as possible, and also get on here talking to you guys as much as I can too. So I'm stoked to be on here talking to you guys. Yesterday we had a really fun time talking to Ryan Napton. Yeah, it was so cool talking to him. Such a huge inspiration for snowboarding, and yeah, the guy can carve and butter like nobody else. So it was amazing talking to him, and more things planned. But yeah, today just gonna talk to you guys, see what you guys are up to. Definitely hit me up in the comments if you have anything you want to talk about or ask. Definitely just hit me up. But let's give some shout outs to people who tuned in early. We got Engen, we got Nal on here, Salsa, Kenji, we got Highland Cow. Thank you guys so much for tuning in early. And yeah, everyone, let's see who's got the first question. Yeah, everyone seems pretty stoked to be in here. We also got all our moderators on. Shout out to the moderators. El Stacker's in the house. He's saying it's game time. Let's go. That's right, man. Yeah, let me know in the comments too how the audio sounds, how the video looks, what you guys think of the new screen setup. Luke says, can you do a review on Proteus adjustable camber boards? Wow, that sounds pretty funky, man. I haven't heard of that. I'll have to look into it. Snowboard Owl's on here saying it's looking good. Thanks, man. Adam Searles from Ontario says, sup everyone, just finished my work at home, but I'm out for a walk in the rain. Hope everyone is great. Hello, Kevin. What's up, Adam? Well, thanks for tuning in for a bit. Yeah, have a good walk out there, man. It's always good to get outside, get some exercise. And we got the Discount Snowboarder watching from Chicago. We got Ty watching from Queensland, Australia. We also have Taylor watching from Australia. We got Chris Ayers on the chat. Actually just was out for a walk in the neighborhood here in Whistler with Chris. Popped over to see Andreas. We got Jan now saying, hi Kevin, I'd say I'm an intermediate boarder and thinking of getting my first board next season. Would you recommend the Orca as a first board? Probably not for your very first board. Like the Orca is, I'd say it's more specifically for all mountain riding and like excels in powder. And for your first board, you're probably not going to be, you're going to be mostly riding the resort. So I would recommend more of like a resort board, something that is going to do well on groomers, because when you're first starting out, you want to progress. Oh, I guess you're saying you're an intermediate boarder. If you're an intermediate boarder, I guess it kind of depends. If like your passion is riding in the powder and where you live, you get a lot of snow, then I would say check out the Orca. But honestly, if you're not riding a ton of powder and you're more just riding the slopes, I would go something that's a little bit not as specific. The Orca is kind of a specific board. Yeah, something that's maybe just a bit more versatile. Something that's, it depends on what you want to do. If you like riding more park, maybe check out some park boards. If you like riding more, yeah, like groomers, you can, a directional board maybe. But the Orca is pretty specific for powder. So I would consider it, but yeah, the width of the Orca actually kind of makes it a little bit more advanced. So maybe check out something that's more of a normal width. But good question, man. You could look at other boards in the LibTech line. I would say something like the T-Rise Pro is something that's easier to ride. A park board, something like the Box Knife is another one, or Box Knife or Box Scratcher, a couple boards that are a bit more mellow for riding and for doing tricks. So yeah, look at the whole lineup and go for a board that suits your style of riding. Highland Cow is saying your gear storage video was super helpful. Awesome, man. Yeah, made that a few days ago. If you guys haven't yet, definitely check it out. But I've been meaning to put some of my gear away properly, and yeah, I thought I would make a video about it to share it with you guys. I know a lot of you people have asked on the live chat as well. A few people asking like how to store gear, so it's always good to put out the video really highlighting all the things that I do. And yeah, I hope you guys have got all your stuff put away, but hopefully we get to bring it out sooner than later. There's a possibility that some resorts on the west coast of North America here may open back up. And if not in North America, we'll be heading down to the Southern Hemisphere in a few months for some riding. So hopefully get that gear out sooner than later. Shout out to Miller125. Thanks, man. Avi as well. Chris saying, what a lovely wood frame. Excellent background. Thanks, Chris. We got Jose up in here. What's up, Jose? Ty from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. Miller125, what is your favorite resort? Man, so many favorites. This past year, been super lucky. Went to Niseko, Japan, one of my favorite places for powder. Went to Big Bear, California, one of my favorite parks now. Man, it's just so many places. It's hard to choose, to be honest. And first super chat from Evan Block saying, hope everyone's doing well. Kevin, when do you plan to come back to Colorado, Keystone, and Breck? Evan, hopefully I get to come back like this year, or sometime in the next month or so, if the border opens up between Canada and the US and it can travel down to the States, and if some of the resorts open. And I know that in Colorado, they stay open longer than most places, like into May. So if anything opens up down in Colorado, we'll definitely make the trip down. And if not this season, in the next few months, if that doesn't happen, then hopefully in October, once that's where we went to this past year. The first resort to open, one of the first resorts was Keystone in Colorado. So we got out there in like mid-October and had a great time riding. So hopefully get back the latest October. So yeah, I love Colorado, love riding there. It's always fun meeting everyone down in Colorado too. So as soon as I can, as soon as possible, man. What's your main resort that you ride at in Colorado? That'd be good to know. And we got another super chat from Justin816. Thanks for the support, man. Says, I'm going to Japan next February. What was your favorite resort in Hakuba? Also, any tips for my first to Japan? Really good question, man. I would say any tips for first in Japan? Definitely bring a powder board with you, a powder specific board, because the snow in Japan is so light and can be so deep that having a powder specific snowboard really makes riding the powder that much easier. So definitely bring a powder board to Japan, or once you're there, you can always rent one as well. But my favorite place in Hakuba was a place called Happo One, and it was one of the main resorts. And I just found that the pitch of the terrain was my favorite there. Lots of like wide open slopes, a few tree areas, and also like some backcountry access if you've got some avalanche training and all that. So Happo One was my favorite for the powder. Another one of my favorite places was called Sugaike. And in Sugaike, you take like a short course for like tree riding and safety. So look into taking that short course at Sugaike, where they teach you some safety stuff about the mountain. and then you can go into out of some of their gates into some of the tree runs. So you have to take the safety course to go through the gates, but once you do, there's some really fun tree runs in Sugaike, and they also have a really good terrain park there too. So if you want to ride some terrain park, that was probably my favorite park there. So yeah, those two places, Hapo One was my favorite overall for powder, and Sugaike was probably my favorite for trees and park. But yeah, have a good time. I hope you guys get lots of snow in February. Evan says collab with Casey Willax and Jonathan when you come. I ride mostly Breck, Parks, a little Keystone, and too bad the virus ended my goal of 100 days short. Yeah, it ended everyone's season early, but it would be great to collaborate with Casey again. Got to run into Casey in Japan. That was super fun. And Jonathan as well. So all those guys. Tommy Bennett down there in Colorado as well. And yeah, just tons of fun people to collaborate with. We got Lachlan watching from Jindabyne, Australia. Another one of my favorite spots. Miller125 says, what is a good competition board? Good question. That's, man, it's tough to recommend a specific board for competition because everyone's got their own style and preferences. I feel like a lot of competitive snowboarders, they like boards that are a little bit stiffer, and I feel like a lot of competitive riders are moving towards full camber boards. So maybe looking at some of the more like full camber boards. Yeah, like the one over my shoulder, the GNU Headspace, it's like camber dominant. So that's one of the reasons I like it. It's a little bit more stable. Some of the Capita boards as well. The Capita DOA is a pretty like camber leaning board, stiff and reliable. But yeah, lots of those different Capita boards. But I feel like for competition, competitive riders, they like the stability of a camber dominant snowboard. So maybe check out some of those. Ty Gallo with the super chat from Australia. Thanks, man. Says, I have a 2017 Burton Custom Flying V. What's a different board I can buy and still use my Burton EST bindings? Any recommendations? Maybe Burton Freethinker or Burton Process? Yeah, like, man, it just depends on what you want to do more of. The Burton Freethinker, yeah, that's a great one as well. And you can even look at the Burton Deep Thinker if you want something that's going to handle the powder a little bit more. The Burton Process, I believe, is a bit softer than the Custom Flying V. So maybe the Process for that more traditional sort of board feel. I think it may be like a camber dominant board, but still softer. But yeah, it depends on where you want to take your riding. If you want to go more into park and tricks, look at maybe more of a park style board. If you want something that's going to be more for powder and all mountain, look at something like the Deep Thinker or Free Thinker. So lots of ways you can go. We got Carrie Pierce on the chat. What's up, Carrie? We got T-Door Frost on here as well. I think he's got a question. T-Door says, will you make more vlogs with snowboard and clips from you doing snowboard tricks? Definitely, yeah. As soon as I can get up a mountain into a park somewhere, anywhere snowboarding, I'll definitely be making more vlogs and doing more tricks and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, at the moment with everything shut, it's limited. So if you guys have any video requests in the meantime, definitely let me know in the chat too. If there's any tricks that you guys want me to cover or tutorials to make or highlight videos or just any ideas, let me know in the chat. But yeah, the quarantine videos, it's been fun doing some different stuff, more live chats, more interviews. So all that's been fun. Aaron J saying thoughts on Jones. Yeah, Jones Snowboards. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like the guy who started the company, Jeremy Jones, he's a big mountain rider, like a legend in big mountain riding. And he also is like environmental activist. So a lot of the Jones products, I think like 1% of all the profits made from Jones snowboards goes towards like environmental causes, like POW, Protect Our Winters. So it's like a conscientious brand, thinking about the environment. And yeah, Jones snowboards in general are just made for, a lot of them are made for powder riding and big mountain. I've got the this board over here. You can't quite see it, but the Jones Solution is my split board, and it's great. It's got the magnet traction for holding an edge, and yeah, really just well designed. And yeah, I'm looking at some Jones boards for next year. The Jones Mind Expander, or the Jones Ultra Mind Expander, actually been eyeing that board up. So I know a lot of people love the Mind Expander by Jones for riding in powder. So yeah, he's got some great powder designs, and even the Jones Mountain Twin for the park. So there's a bit of variety there, but yeah, they seem like great boards. Everyone that has one loves them. So I'm going to have to get a few more Jones snowboards too. Taylor with a question says, I'm a beginner boarder. How do I change my beginner skidded turns to carved turns? And how do I stop stacking on bumps, imperfections on blue runs? Well, if you want to start carving, I would say the first thing to do is to start trying to just do like one carving turn. So instead of like linking the carving turns together right off the bat, focus on just doing like one carving turn sort of across the run. Look up the hill to make sure nobody's coming, but just starting to practice like riding on your board's edge and leaving that clean line in the snow behind you. And once you can kind of do just one single turn, say try one on your toes and then try one carving turn on your heels. Then after you can do them in each direction, then you can slowly start to link them together. And when you're starting to carve, take it somewhere easy. You can even try it like on like a green run or like a mellow blue run, somewhere that you're not going to pick up too much speed to practice your first carving turns. But start out just doing one at a time, and yeah, just getting that clean line in the snow. And then for bumps and all that kind of stuff, I think the key with bumps is using your knees to really absorb all those bumps. So using your knees independently too, so that they're moving separate from each other and that your knees aren't always moving together. Being able to absorb bumps with your knees is going to allow you to stay in better control through those blue areas. Awesome. Tim Burgess says, which pros do you find inspiring? Great question, man. Yeah, there's tons of great pros out there. Oh man. When I was a bit younger, one of my inspirations for riding in the park was Eero Itala. If you guys have ever seen Eero ride, he's like an amazing, jibber, like on rails and jumps and everything. So he was one of the snowboarders too that really pushed the sport with new tricks. So he was a big inspiration. Travis Rice with his big mountain riding is an inspiration because you can see that he's just really charging through the powder and pushing it by adding in tricks and coming up with these creative lines and just kind of like showing people how he looks at the mountain too. So that's pretty inspirational. But yeah, there's so many out there. It's I always try to like put on somebody, like if I'm going up the chairlift or if I'm going up the gondola, I'll put on my favorite, or I'll just put on a snowboard video and watch somebody to kind of get inspired. Even another, like a pro snowboarder who does the YouTube videos, Stale. It's cool to throw on one of his videos and just watch his style and see how much height and pop and stuff he gets with his tricks. So yeah, there's a few of them, but I feel like I pull inspiration from a lot of different pros. Louis says, what do you think about the short wide boards? Yeah, there's some, in the last few years, there's been some really short and fat snowboards coming out. I guess they call them like volume shifted snowboards, and they're really fun. They're like fun because they float in the powder and they allow you to do really quick turns. So if you enjoy like riding in the trees, I feel like they're like the ideal tree boards because you can just do these really quick turns on this fat little snowboard. So yeah, they're really fun boards. They're not like the most stable for like if you're riding at really high speeds and doing drops. They can kind of be a bit tricky there because they're not very long. But if you like just keeping your feet on the ground and making quick kind of surfy turns through the powder and getting in between trees, then those like short kind of wide snowboards, those volume shifted boards can be really fun. My first one was the Yes 420. And yeah, I got to take that to Mount Bachelor. Riding at Mount Bachelor with it was really fun because Mount Bachelor has a lot of trees. They've got like a lot of big windblown powder features that are almost like surf style. So having the 420 was really fun. I think my 420 was a 147, so really short but really wide. But it was a really dynamic board through the trees and powder. Miller125 says, "You're really good. Go to X Games." I'm not that good. I'm not even like a tenth of as good enough to go to X Games. But yeah, the guys that do X Games are crazy. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Let's see if we can get the number of likes to the number of people watching. That would be pretty cool. Carrie says, "I wonder why Kevin didn't get a Gentem stick." Yeah, the Gentem stick snowboards in Japan were very tempting to buy one, to be honest. But I feel like when we were looking at buying a Gentem stick in Japan, it was sort of like towards the end of the trip, and we had just finished riding the powder, and like Gentem stick is like a pure powder board, and they're also like very expensive. So if I was gonna buy one, I would buy one like at the beginning of a Japan trip so that I could ride it the whole time. But yeah, they're so expensive and they're so like niche that I'm just not ready to buy a Gentem stick. Maybe next time I go to Japan, I'll buy a Gentem stick and ride it like during the Japan trip. So maybe next year. All right. Jose is saying, "Love Mount Bachelor. So stoked that it will be on the Icon Pass." Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, this year, I guess the Icon Pass just announced that Mount Bachelor is going to be on there. So I'll be stoked to ride down there on the Icon Pass as well. All right. Tons of comments and questions, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah, let me know what you guys think too, how the video looks, how it sounds. You know, with all this extra quarantine time, I've been trying to spruce up the live chat. Got some lights set up. Got the new Sony camera with the microphone and the funky background. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. We also have Yannick and Narav in the chat. Shout out to those guys, brothers from London. We got Board Through the Pain on here. Snowboard Lifestyle says, "Kevin, met you at Stevens. You think T-Line and Cardrona will open this summer?" Yeah, that's a. I think T-Line will probably open. I'm feeling like throughout May, maybe things across North America will start opening up in some fashion, maybe with like some restrictions on things. But I feel like T-Line at Mount Hood in Oregon there, it'll probably start opening. Cardrona is, I think, a gamble. I think it may open, but I don't know if foreigners are going to be able to go to New Zealand to ride there. So that's the only question that I have in my mind, is whether or not they're going to be opening up to foreigners, like people from outside of New Zealand. So I'll have to wait and see. But it would be nice to ride at both those places. Would love to get down to T-Line, to Mount Hood with the High Cascade Snowboard Camp. I'll hopefully get to do that again this summer. But I'm just waiting for the the border to open up between the US and Canada. So at the moment, it's all shut. And same thing with New Zealand, just waiting to see what the, not so much about what the resorts specifically are doing, but what the countries are allowing in terms of tourism or travel. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll be super jealous if New Zealand opens, but we're not allowed to go. That would be a real bummer. I know that our friend Yannick on the chat here told me, he texted me and he said that Argentina isn't going to be open for tourism until September 1st. So that's like past sort of the prime time of skiing and snowboarding in Argentina. So that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Things are changing every week, so we'll see what happens. Guttorm saying some Norwegian ski resorts are open. Nice. Yeah, maybe we'll be going to Norway. The Shred Ship saying, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Picked up a gray Board Archive beanie awaiting delivery, but went to Etsy and see you only have the white beanies in stock. When can I get a hold of a black or a new color? Yeah, good question, man. So we've been looking at getting some new beanies for Snowboard Pro Camp, but haven't pulled the trigger yet. But yeah, I'll let you know as soon as we order some new beanies. I'll let you know. But yeah, at the moment, only a few white beanies left. I think there's like less than 10 white beanies. If anybody needs a beanie, they're linked down in the description. You can get a combo with a sticker pack. But I'll let you know as soon as I'll get to work on that with Jill. Jill's like in charge of the merch. So hopefully we can get some black beanies or a colored beanie ordered as well. If anyone has, what do you guys think? What color of snowboard beanie do you want to see next? I was thinking like black is like always a good one. Pretty good color. Also possibly red. I was thinking maybe a red beanie could be cool. Or just go straight like navy blue or some kind of color like that. But yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. What color beanie do you guys want to see next? Chris is looking for a hood or mask. What would you recommend, Kev? Like a face mask for snowboarding? I recommend, my favorite are blackstrap. So if you look online, if you're in the States, they're pretty easy to find. But the blackstrap face masks are my favorite, just because I feel like they fit really well. They have like the hinge in the corner, so like they're not too tight around your chin. Another face mask I do like, but are a bit too small for me, are the Oyuki face masks. And they do have the hinge as well, and they have the similar feel as the blackstrap. But for me, they're just a little bit too tight around my face. So they don't fit the like universal fit on the blackstrap fits me better than the Oyuki. So, but those are my two favorite, Oyuki and blackstrap. Noah saying purple beanie. Yeah, purple could be a good one. Chuck Van saying red to go with the theme of the channel. Yeah, the red logo. Yeah, there's a lot of red throughout the video, so red could be a good one. And Omer saying, hey, Kevin, what do you think about 2020 ride Twin Pig with Union Forces? Oh, Union Force Spring Break. Yeah, that sounds like a good combo. That sounds like a really solid combo, man. Perfect. Boredom saying, have you been to Baldface, Kevin? Looks dope. Yeah, Baldface Lodge. If you guys don't know, they have, it looks like a lodge that you have to like take a helicopter into. And then it's like I guess kind of like a week-long camp where everything's provided, like food and meals. And then they just take you on like powder adventures. There's like a bunch of acreage, like bunch of land that they have for snowboarding, and it's just all powder riding and trees. So it looks incredible. Yeah, I would love to get out there. I went on their website like a week or so ago, and there's like a waiting list for next season. So I think it's already fully booked. And what you do is you just put your name on a list to hopefully get the chance to like take somebody's spot. So to be honest, I don't think I'll be able to go to Baldface anytime soon just because it's already sold out. But yeah, it looks amazing. I think if you get the chance to do it, definitely do it. Looks like a cool experience. Angela saying, East Coast rider over here. Any recommendations for boards that are best on the ice? Nice. I think if I was going to be riding a lot of ice, I would look for a snowboard that has magnet traction. So the wavy like edge along your board's edge. So brands that do that, the brand over my shoulder, GNU, has magnet traction. Also Libtech and Jones. But yeah, check out some of those brands. My wife Jill, she has a GNU Velvet, which is it's like kind of like a park board that has magnet traction. So for riding the ice, I would probably go with a board with magnet traction. I think Roxy might have magnet traction as well, but I'm not 100% sure. Dever Descalo saying, what beginner snowboard would you recommend? When you're shopping for a beginner board, every brand sort of has a few boards that are good for beginners, but look for a board that is inexpensive. So like the lowest priced board in the lineup, something that has some rocker in it. So rocker makes the board more catch free. And I think those are the two most important things. Something that's like fairly like on the softer side too. So a softer board will be more forgiving as well. So a bit softer of a board, something that has some rocker and that is at a low price. Sawyer is saying you're so close to 500K. Yeah, so the story with the 500K is that I actually passed a 500K like right before the whole pandemic thing happened. So when we were in Bear Mountain, like the second last day we were there, passed 500K. And then like that weekend, all the ski resorts, everything started shutting down. And I think I got to 500,000 or 502,000. But then once all the resorts closed, I think people stopped watching snowboard videos. So it's actually gone down from, I think I've lost maybe 2,000 subscribers since the pandemic started because nobody's watching snowboard videos. So yeah, down to 499. But I think once things start to go back to normal, maybe in July, August, we'll go back over the 500K mark. And then the goal for this time next year will be 600K. So it's all good. Gonna hover around 500K though for a few months, I think. Alex wanting to know where do you live, Kev? So I live in Whistler, BC, Canada. I've been living here for the last like 15 years, maybe 17 years actually. Pinky saying Janice was getting crunked yesterday in her live chat. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, she it was like the happy hour with Janice. Yeah, she was having some fun. That was cool. Snowboard Al saying we are watching. Thank you, Al. Yeah, thanks for. I feel like for all the snowboarders that tune into the live chat, you guys are like the hardcores. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and continuing to watch the videos. Appreciate it. And we got some more people joining into the chat. A Million Pop Off. We got Osvaldo. Daily MTB. Board Through the Pain is on here. Tay Monkey 888. Tay Monkey saying, I've been watching your videos every day since I can't snowboard. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. I've been trying to keep the videos coming for you guys, even though there's no snowboarding and you can't snowboard, just continuing to try to keep the video content rolling. And Board Through the Pain says, I'm a wakeboarder. I'm dreaming of snow. Yeah, wakeboarding, really fun summer snowboard board sport, skateboarding as well. I did some wakeboarding when I used to do more wakeboarding when I lived in Ontario, on further towards the east side of Canada. Mikal is saying best park board for someone with size 13 and a half feet. Oh wow, man. Yeah, that's some big feet. Maybe check out something like, yeah, the Ride Twin Pig. The Twin Pig may be wide enough. I'm not sure though, so you'll have to like check out some of the specs and look around at some of the wide boards that are in the park category, and look at the width and just try to find the widest board. But yeah, 13 and a half, those are some big feet for snowboard. So try to find, yeah, look at the specs on wide boards and just choose the widest. That's all you can do really. And Sliper X saying it's snowing down in South Australia. Awesome. Yeah, I actually heard that as well. So yeah, I hope the Australian season gets underway soon. I hope all the resorts open. And yeah, I hope they let us come snowboard there as well. But I'm stoked that you guys are getting some snow. Wow, tons of questions. Thanks again, everyone, for hopping on here. Alex Ark saying your videos are the cure for quarantine. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, let me know, guys, if you guys have any requests, or even people that you want to see interviewed, or what are some of your, let me know, guys, too. Yeah, what are some of your favorite interviews? Because it's been really fun talking to other people in the snowboard community. It was really fun talking to Ryan Napton yesterday. He's got so many good stories, and he's had such a cool career in snowboarding too, from competing in snowboarding, from snowboarding in Minnesota and just being a park rat, and then going out to Colorado and just, yeah, turning into a carving and buttering machine. So it was really cool talking to him. Got to talk to David Jones last week too, and talk to him about his fingerboard journey and fingerboarding and snowboarding as well. But yeah, it was really fun talking to David. So Elijah Teeter, snowboard coach, was really cool to speak with him and ask him about his journey from being a competitive snowboarder and then going into the world of coaching and coaching in the Olympics. So that was really cool. And all those guys, I feel like, there's so many more questions and stories to be told too. So hopefully get to talk to some of those guys again. And Jen is on here dropping a super chat saying hashtag shout out, and shouting out to the DWCP crew and the twins. Yeah, the twins, Yannick and Rav from London. Some of the real OGs. The Shred Ship with the drop in the super chat as well. Thank you. Saying 10 in stock. Screw it. I'll buy white. Gotta support. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. And I've been meaning to get back to you on that on the Instagram message. I think you have some Shred Ship merch that you wanted to ship out, so I'll get back to you on there. But yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the support, man. DJ is saying there's no powder in Texas. We are on the lakes. Yeah, that's cool. I feel like at this time of the year, moving into spring and summer, it's really fun. Always fun to get out on a lake. Alex wanting to know, how long have you been snowboarding? I love your videos. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think I've been snowboarding, I think now for 25 years. So quite a while. Started in Ontario, grew up near Toronto and started snowboarding there in just small hills. And then as soon as I was done school, I moved out to Whistler and been here ever since. And then once I started doing the YouTube videos, that allowed me to start to travel for snowboarding as well. So been a lot of snowboarding over the years. Carlos wants to know, how is it riding with David? Riding with David is awesome. David Jones. Yeah. when he's since he's been back riding in the terrain park, it's been really cool. He's got so much style in the park and can do so many cool tricks. So watching him ride the park is really inspirational and also like motivating to try to do some tricks like the way that he does. And he also he always has good insights and advice as well. So I joke around sometimes that he's like my coach. So he will sometimes give me some advice. So it's really cool talking to David about tricks or the park. And it's just really fun being around him too, because when he's making videos, he's always coming up with different like fun ideas for doing video content. So he's just a really creative person. So that kind of rubs off on me as well. Seeing him being creative is kind of inspiring to try to be creative too. And then when we're powder riding, like we were in Japan riding the powder together. I guess like powder riding is a little bit different because that's more of like a solo thing, but it's just still really fun to ride powder with him, to do some filming with him. And again, he's always coming up with cool video ideas. So yeah, it's really fun. Gonna hopefully get to ride with David in New Zealand soon, or maybe he'll make a trip over to North America if things open back up. And Jack Ripper with the super chat as well, saying, come back to Bear next season. You look like you need a good spraying. Oh yeah, Jack Ripper. So we got to meet Jack Ripper over in at Bear, and cool dude. It was good chatting with you, man. And I was like chilling at the bottom of the hill at one point, and then all of a sudden I see this like wave of slush coming towards me, and Jack sprayed me, and it was actually not that bad. It just kind of it was like surprising, but if it was, it was no big deal. But it was pretty funny. It kind of scared me a bit. But shout out Jack. It was awesome to hang out a bit, do some laps, and I'll see you back there next season for sure. And Taylor saying, fingers crossed, New Zealand allows us to get the snow, August, September, get to the snow. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I want to get to the snow in August and September for sure. Oliver's asking, gonna do some skateboarding this summer. Yeah, we'd love to get into some skateboarding again, especially if there's no chance of snowboarding. We'll definitely get the skateboard out for sure. I'll probably wait until after all this like pandemic stuff is over to go skateboarding, just in case, because I'm kind of like, I'm not a very good skateboarder, so the chances of getting hurt are pretty high. So if I'm gonna fall and have to go into the hospital for some reason to get like some stitches or for any reason, I don't want to take any risks yet. So maybe once like summer is in full fledged and the quarantine stuff is over, then I'll get back into skating. Chuck Van with the super chat saying, ever consider growing an iso beard, long and bushy? An isolation beard. I don't know. My beard, what happens is once it starts to grow, it starts to get very like prickly and it's like itchy, because it's like the hair is like sharp and like stabbing me. So I'm not a big fan of like the long beard. But maybe, I'll probably keep it short, especially like when the warm weather's coming. A beard is not a good thing for me. It's too warm and it's too like prickly. Team Torg asking, where is the best POW in North America? So the best powder I've ridden in North America, it's probably two places where I've had the best powder. Honestly, it's probably in Colorado. Colorado, I think, has the lightest powder just because the elevation is the mountains are so high. Like when you're at the top of some of the mountains, you're at 12,000 feet. So it's like cold and dry up there. So that makes the powder very light. So the lightest powder has probably been Colorado. The best some of the best powder I've ridden was also in Wyoming, like Jackson Hole and Grand Targhee in Wyoming. Those are some of my favorite best powder days as well. And I would also throw Mount Bachelor in there. Mount Bachelor gets some good powder as well. But to be honest, I can't quite remember at the moment if it's as light as the other places. I feel like Colorado and Wyoming have been the two lightest places I've been to in North America. Yeah, lots of great questions, guys. That was a really good one. A million pop-off saying, Kev, thanks for keeping on getting the snowboard community together through the interviews and live chats and the difficult times. You should try to interview Stale. He's a fellow YouTuber after all. Yeah, that's a great one. I'll reach out to him on Instagram and see if he'd come on. That'd be a really fun person to have on as an interview. And yeah, he's doing the YouTube thing. He's competing. He's got like lots of stuff happening. So a good person to ask some questions too. Sam saying, hey Kev, have you ever thought of traveling to where some of your fan board and check out some favorite spots, possibly chat and board with them? Yeah, riding with fans. Every time we travel, we always try to meet as many people that check out the videos as possible and always doing laps with people. So yeah, wherever we go, we always try to make that like a priority. So yeah, getting the videos made, but also making time to do laps or at least like ride the chairlift with people that check out the videos. So always try to do that as much as possible. And yeah, it's pretty crazy, but even in Japan, when we were like way out in the trees, we end up meeting people that watch the videos too. So yeah, I forget the guy's name, but we were in Japan, TJ and I, and we were about to drop a cornice and we met a fan of the channel and we ended up riding with him the rest of the day. And it was, yeah, that was really cool. Because it was such a crazy place to be meeting someone too. So yeah, always try to do that wherever we go. And JP saying Mount Baldy is open in California a couple of days a week, but $99 for a lift ticket. Ugh. Yeah, that's a bit for a spring lift ticket, $99 for one day, but at least it's open. Yeah, maybe a trip to Mount Baldy as long as all the snow doesn't melt. The Shred Ship saying Snowboard Utah is a must. Awesome. Thanks for, yeah, I feel like Utah probably has some really good powder as well. Mark C saying, hi Kev, what bindings would you recommend for the Twin Pig? Riding the Flight Attendant and with Malavitas now. Yeah, the Twin Pig, you could just go for like a mid-flex binding because the Twin Pig can do a bit of everything from POW to park. So yeah, just something that's like a medium stiffness. I would maybe check out something like the Union, what are those called? The Union Stratas, like a good mid-flex binding. So yeah, check out something like that. Snowboard Al saying your Japan videos have been the best you've ever posted. Wow, thank you, Snowboard Al. Yeah, appreciate it, man. And Scourge saying, hi man, how you going? I'm an Australian and I was just wondering your videos on Whistler. It was cool as me and my family are going up there if the COVID stuff clears up. Yeah, I hope you guys can come out next season once Whistler opens back up and yeah, who knows what's going to happen, but hopefully, yeah, the resorts and places can, go back to as normal as possible for next winter. Andreas is on here. What's up, Andreas? Just saw you a little while ago saying, Kevin, you should do a finger snowboard week. Finger snowboarding. All right. We need to make us some fingerboards. That would be fun for some finger snowboards. Man, I don't want to copy David Stees though. David is like taking over the fingerboard world. So I guess like, he won't mind if we do a few fingerboard videos, but I guess like, yeah, if we can't feet board, we might as well fingerboard. And Tim Burgess, would you get step-ons? I think I'm gonna have to get step-ons just because I get so many step-on questions. If I like own step-ons and I use them, then maybe people will. Then I'll be able to answer some more questions. Awesome, guys. Shout out to the moderators on here, keeping the chat all organized and clean. I really appreciate it. It makes life so much easier. Thanks, guys, for the 51 likes as well. Broke that 50 mark. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, who's done a super chat. Andrea saying finger wars. Yeah, we could start a beef with David. I'm sure he'll be down. Fingerboard week wars. Do you think if I did a fingerboard week, would David be mad? The problem is that his content is so good. It'd be like really tough to top that. Noah wanting to know, how many countries have you gone to for snowboarding? Good question. So yeah, we've been to Canada, the US, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Chile, England, been snowboarding in England, surprisingly, the Netherlands, Switzerland, France, Austria. That's 10 countries right there. Have I missed anywhere? I think 10. Unless I missed someplace. I probably missed somewhere, but I think 10 countries. Braden saying, hey, Kevin, do you think the resorts are going to change anything up for the coming season? What do you think they will implement? Yeah, they possibly maybe they'll have a lot of places where I go to, like the chalets, like the places where you go in and eat are like ram packed and like really busy. So maybe they'll have like limits on the number of people that can go into like the restaurants at one time. So that's a possibility. Maybe they'll, if there's, to be honest, I feel like if you're on a chairlift, it's okay to be sitting beside somebody, but maybe they'll limit the number of people on a chair. Those two things, probably just in terms of like how many people are in a building at once and how many people are on a chair, those could be the only two things. But I feel like too, if you not limit the number of people on a chair, that means more people are going to be waiting in a lift line, which is also, you don't want people all crowded together in a line. But I feel like just people being outside is better than being inside. So as long as people are outside, I feel like there's not going to be a ton of changes. I feel like it'll just be the things that you do indoors at a ski resort. Trade Mark with the super chat. Thanks for the support. Saying, you mentioned potentially going to High Cascade this summer. Is that still a potential thing? Yeah, so we talked to the guys from High Cascade and we were talking about going for session 2. And I was going to start promoting that and like telling everyone that we were going to session 2 at High Cascade. But then all the quarantine stuff happened and they closed the border. So at this point, I can't even get down to the States. And I think, they put a 30-day travel ban. So I guess session 2 is around the end of June. So I'll just have to once they open the border and they say it's like free for travel, then I'm going to let people know officially that I will be going. But at this point, it's just kind of dependent on what's happening in the world. So yeah, it's still a potential. It's potential session 2 at High Cascade. But right now, we just have to wait and see what happens with countries and borders and all the quarantine stuff. And Nick wants to know my opinion on the graphics between 2020 and 2021 Orca. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool that they're continuing to like change up the style of the Orca. I feel like people did really like the blue Orca, so I feel like they could be missing the boat a little bit, just sticking with like the black and white. I don't think people were super stoked on the black and white this past year. I feel like people really like the blue, like the blue Orca better. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they should have switched it up to more something more a bit more creative and crazy. But it is kind of neat that it's like the top view of an orca whale. That's like the top sheet of the board graphic. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, maybe the next one go something like crazy and colorful. Some kind of like really maybe some get a new creative spin on the Orca. Ty is saying you're probably safer in snowboard gear anyway. Face mask, gloves, goggles. Yeah, there's lots of good things for protective stuff with snowboard gear for sure. Andrea is saying, I feel like the Blue Orca is the best, but I think the 2021 is going to be dope because it's like you're riding on top of it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You're like right on top. All right, let's go for a few more guys, a few more questions. Thanks again, everyone, for hopping on here. Even though like nobody can snowboard at the moment, it's really fun just to come on and chat with all you guys. And yeah, if you guys like this video and you want to see more live chats, more interviews through the week, definitely give this video a like. And yeah, if you guys haven't yet, I'm sure most of you have, but if there's anyone on here that hasn't subscribed, yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the bell beside the subscribe button so that you get notified every time I go live with an interview or just a live chat. So yeah, definitely do that, guys. And yeah, just appreciate everyone for tuning in. All right, lots of people on the chat hanging out and talking to each other here. Yeah, shout out to Andreas as well. He makes a lot of art too, so it'd be cool to see some of Andreas's art maybe on his own snowboard someday. That would be cool. Tim saying time to get a family tree board. Yeah, Burton always puts out a lot of snowboards every year under this like collection called Family Tree. So there's sort of more specialty boards with like a limited number. So yeah, it's cool. They always mix that up every season with like different versions of things. And then sometimes a family tree board will go out into like the main Burton line. So it's fun checking out some of those family tree boards. Ty Gallo wants to know, how tall are you and what size board do you ride? So I'm 6'3", about 185 pounds, and my park board is like a 158. So yeah, a bit shorter for park, just allowing you to like make quicker turns, more maneuverable, and also like for tricks and things, it's easier to do a trick with a shorter board than something longer. But my powder board, my Orca this year, how big was my Orca? I think it was a 160. Can't remember. 160. My power board in general, 160, 160. I think maybe it was a 162. But yeah, the bigger, maybe it wasn't. But I think a power board, like a bit longer, more stability for riding at high speeds through powder for landing drops, something in the 160 range. Awesome, guys. Just gonna call the live chat there. Been on for just about an hour, but yeah, big thanks to everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys are staying safe out there and healthy through all this stuff. And yeah, just really amazing to hop on here and chat with you guys. Just makes the whole social part that we're kind of missing out on at the moment just kind of makes it a bit easier. But yeah, I always encourage you guys, reach out to your fellow snowboarders and have a chat on FaceTime or whatever you can do. It's just really fun to reach out to people in the community and see that they're doing okay, and like, you know, having a chat and like maybe making some plans for once this is all over. But yeah, huge shout out to everyone that liked the video, that did a super chat, and just for tuning in. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'll see you guys back here next Thursday, 3 p.m. for another live chat. And we'll also drop some videos between now and then. More videos, maybe some more highlight videos from the season. Maybe some fresh videos like about gear, and hopefully get some more people on for the live interviews, because those are really fun as well. But yeah, big thanks everyone. I hope you guys are having a good time out there. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.